How to hire an attorney. Hello, my name is Travis E. Stroud, attorney at law. I swore in the state of California in 2011, and I've been litigating or practicing the law ever since, which means I've been doing this some 15 years now. I have a law firm in the small, beautiful farming town of Willows, California. It's centrally located in Northern California, but I practice throughout the North State, from Stanislaus County to Sacramento County, even farther north to Tehama County, Shasta County, to the Oregon border, or even Eastern California, Auburn, or South Lake, North Lake Tahoe, or even the Bay Area. And the reason why I do practice in multiple locations simply is because I love to travel. It's one of the best parts of my job. I truly enjoy traveling around the state. That being the case, today we're going to talk about how to hire an attorney. Now, I'm not talking about where you go to look, like how do you Google them or if you're getting referrals. I'm talking about once you've gotten in contact with an attorney, what things should you be asking or inquiring about with that attorney to see if you and him are a good fit. The first thing you want to talk about is, are they willing to move the court? This is a big one. And what I mean by that is that attorneys, we're in the business of solving problems. And so you need an attorney that is willing to file a motion to the court. For example, how many times have you been watching television or you may hear another attorney say, I have to file this motion in court. I got to be at this motion at 9 a.m. And what has happened there is a problem that an attorney has sat down, wrote it out to a judge and said, Your Honor, I'm having this particular problem and I need some resolution. Can you help me? And what they do is they file a motion to get the court to move in a certain direction. Hence the term motion, hence the term movement. You'd be surprised. Now, you need to find out if that attorney is reticent to file motions. Because if he's not filing motions, if he's not writing letters, if he's not sending texts and he can't prove it to you, he's not doing his job. If he's not writing, he's not working. The second thing that I want to talk about, which piggybacks off of motion writing, is appearances. Now, a lot of times there'll be appearances where the attorney needs to appear in court. And a lot of time the client doesn't have to be there. But what I will tell you is this. You need to find an attorney that wants you to be present in court with him. Me personally, I know there are rules when the client has to be there and when the client doesn't. I don't even really know the rules. I tell my client to be there no matter what. I want them there. And then later on, as we get going, if we fill out when you need to be there, but I certainly want my client there with me for a number of reasons. First, no one knows the case better than my client. So why wouldn't I want the person that has all the facts there? And second, and the reason why you want to be there is because you want to hold your attorney accountable. And it's my opinion that a lot of attorneys don't want you to be present there because they don't want to feel uncomfortable while they hear or while you can hear them orating on your behalf. And this is what I will say. If an attorney is afraid to advocate in front of you, then he shouldn't be advocating for you. So the second thing you want to talk about is you want to make sure that when they appear, that they allow you to appear with them. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is fees. And yes, a lot of people don't want to talk about fees. It's kind of like tithing. Everyone knows they should be doing it, but nobody likes talking about it. Nevertheless, there are two ways that you can pay an attorney. Actually, there's a third way. It's called a contingency fee. And that's more like you lost your leg or you got hit by a bus. And usually those kind of fee arrangements occur where the attorney will take on your case. And if he doesn't win, you don't get paid. But we're not talking about that. That's another post. And we'll certainly talk about it later. But we're not going to talk about that today. The two ways that you can pay your attorney, say you're looking for a property dispute or you're looking for a family law matter or beneficiary violation of trustee dues matter, and you need to find an attorney. And so there's two primary ways that you can do this. One is the flat fee, and other is the pay as you go. Now, the flat fee, it can work. And usually what will happen is an attorney will come to you and say, maybe you have a standard custody and visitation matter that's going to be over in, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and the attorney can come to you and say, I can do that for you for, I don't know, $10,000. The thing is, what you must watch out for, you must ask him, how long is this going to take? Because think about this. If an attorney takes your lump sum and he tells you that the matter is going to take a year and a half or 2 years, you got to ask yourself, how is the attorney surviving off of that? If it's going to take too long, then you want to think about putting down a flat fee. Because oftentimes what I've found is a lot of attorneys will take a flat fee and they will become complacent once the money runs out. Also, equally, I find that sometimes clients expect too much because of their flat fee. And then you have this push and shove. So just make sure that if you do the flat fee, make sure that you know how long it's going to take and do the math. And so if it comes out that, it's going to take him 20 hours and he's going to charge you, I don't know, $500 an hour, which is $10,000, and that's about right, great. But if it's going to be something that's going to take you, a year and 30, 40 hours, and he's only charging you $10,000, just think twice before you take that deal, because, as I just stated, attorneys can be complacent and clients can too. Now, the other way that you can hire an attorney is the pay-as-you-go. Now, I like the pay-as-you-go, especially because you get to use me as a tool. Yes, I know I just called myself a tool, but just bear with me. And what I mean by that is when you have the pay and you go, what end up happening is you'll come to your attorney and you'll ask the attorney, so how much does it cost? I don't know. Let's think about what kind of case do I have right now? Okay, how much does it cost? Somebody is suing me or I'm suing someone for a breach of contract, and they were supposed to make a video for me, but they never made it, and I gave them $100,000 and they ran with my money. So Travis, how much is that going to cost me for you to help me? And what I will do at that time is I will give them what the estimate it will be, but I will give them an hourly fee. And usually something like that's a standard civil litigation matter, $450, $500 an hour. And so usually what will happen is I'll get the file, read over it for a couple of hours, and then probably file a motion with the court so I can move the court a certain way, and then I will bill them. And that bill usually is going to be like, maybe 6-7 hours of my time, and the person will get a bill for like $4,000. And a lot of times people will be like, oh my God, I can't do this every month. I can't do this every month. But what I will tell you, think about it. When you file a motion, usually you have to set a court date. Or when you send a letter, usually letters are only like 30 minutes to an hour, or you usually got to wait. So usually, and this is where using me as a tool comes in. Usually you file a motion with the court, and then you wait till the court date. And a lot of times nothing is happening. So that first month you may get a bill for like $3,500, $4,000, maybe even $5,000. But the next month you may get a bill for, I don't know, $500, $200. And the next month after that, you may get a bill for another $300. But sometimes I may come to you and I may say, okay, we got a big issue that we need to take care of. We need to get a deposition. Or here's a good one. Sometimes there are cases, and this is what I mean by using me as a tool and why the hourly pay-as-you-go works. Sometimes, for example, you may want to get phone records, and you may come to me and say, Travis, how much is it going to cost to get the phone records? And I may say to you, well, when I think about it, it's probably going to cost me, I don't know, between $5,000 and $10,000. $5,000 if I don't have any opposition, $10,000 if we fight about it. But here's the key. Sometimes you may not want to get the phone records. You may, after you've listened to my opinion, you've talked to your friends and you've gotten a second or third opinion, you may find, you know what, in actuality, Travis, that's too much for me to spend right now. I don't want the phone records. Plus, I don't think it's going to provide the evidence like I would like it to. And so that's what I mean by paying as you go. You get to use me as a tool. And so as you pay as you go, you get to I get to come to you, ask you what you want to do, and tell you. I'll say, we need to do this with high priority, or maybe it's low priority. Some people want to throw everything at it and they want to file every motion under the sun. I'm okay with that. And some clients, simply put, they don't want to do that, or maybe they can't afford it. And so the benefit of the pay as you go is you get to use me as a tool, and you get to dictate what things that you want done. Another major issue with paying as you go is the accountability. Now, this one's a big one. When I say accountability is most of the time when you pay as you go, you'll get an invoice from the attorney, and the attorney will say, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. And so then at that moment in time, you'll get the bill, and hopefully you pay the bill, and you'll get the bill, and you'll be able to say, great, you're doing a great job. Continue doing what you're doing. Or you may get the bill and you may say, God, you're not worth your salt. And then you can cut ties at that time. So that's another benefit of the pay as you go. Whereas if you've done a flat fee, a lot of the times those flat fees are not refundable. So to me, I prefer the pay as you go. I certainly could do a lump sum, but if you do that, just make sure that you find out how much it's going to charge and how long it's going to take. And if you get pay as you go, be prepared to be part of your case and to use your attorney as a tool. And the last thing I want to talk about is what type of attorney should you choose? Now, I know we've all heard the saying about, have you ever seen someone with a pet and they say, oh, he looks like his owner? Or you see a husband and wife that's been together for 20, 30 years and they start to look the same. I personally feel like that's how it kind of is where's my tie at? That's kind of how it is when it comes to picking your attorney. And what I mean by that is, what type of attorney are you looking for? Are you looking for an aggressive attorney? Is that what you like? Are you looking for a even-keeled attorney? Is that what you like? Do you want a negotiator? What do you want? That's what you should look out for. Make sure when you talk to your attorney, ask him, what type of attorney are you? Are you always aggressive? Some people like that. Are you more like me? I'm more even-keeled. There's a time to be aggressive. There's a time to be humble. There's a time to put on the gloves and punch somebody in the mouth. There's a time to negotiate. That's my style. But I've seen aggressive attorneys win. I've seen more even-keeled attorneys win. I don't see too many attorneys that are passive and don't do anything win. But still, nevertheless, you need to find an attorney that fits your style and what you want. So, that being the case, how to find an attorney. The first thing you need to do is find out if they are motion writers or they are willing to move to court. The second thing you want to do is make sure that they want you to be there with them in court. Because if they're not willing to advocate in front of you, then why do you want them advocating for you? And the third thing is, do you do flat fees or do you do pay as you go? Flat fees are great. You just got to watch out. Pay as you go, I like that better because it allows you to use the attorney as a tool, and you can cut ties as soon as you find out that attorney isn't doing it. And then lastly, find an attorney that fits your style. If you are a poop head all the time, find a poop head attorney. If you are aggressive, find an aggressive attorney. If you are an intellectual, find an intellectual attorney, because that way you guys can talk to each other and you'll be on the same page. That being the case, my name is Travis E. Stroud, attorney at law. You can reach me at 530-838-0828 or my cell at 530-838-0405. And you can check us out at www.travisStroudlaw.net. Thank you.